It is now 5:33. We are going to be convening the Charter Review Commission. The meeting agenda is Thursday, September 25, 2025. It is now time to pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I would like to have a silent meditation, please. Amen. May I have roll call, please?
Ms. Perez, Ms. Canonas, Mr. Rivera, Ms. Rodriguez.
For the record, please, everyone, when you say present, to use your mic.
All right, we'll start over. Ms. Perez, you still here?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Canonas,
Here, present.
Mr. Rivera,
I'm here.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Present.
Pastor Morrison, Mr. Myers, Ms. Melendez.
Present.
We have a quorum of 7 present, Ms. Chairman.
I would like to have entertained the public comment portion of our agenda. And I noticed somebody special there. So if you would like to.
Well, I just introduce, sitting in the audience tonight is Brian Weiss. Brian is a new attorney with my office. He is waiting for the bar exam results. So I invited him here tonight just to get a sense of how the meetings like this are conducted and start teaching him the real practice of law.
Good. Let's give him a hand because that's important work. All right. You're welcome. Okay. We don't have any public comments other than that, the introduction. And I would like to have the opening remarks by me. And just basically that we've had some issues, and I believe that we did resolve them as best we can in terms of the agenda and also the minutes. So they were here and present. And I believe that we are waiting for, I believe, 2 others of our commission to attend, but I don't see them on Zoom, correct? Okay, I do see Donna Reed there, and I'm glad that she's joining us. Oh, that's her. Okay, so we don't have anyone now. Okay, very good. So I'm going to respond that the opening remarks will be just simply that. Let us all continue to uplift one another and be able to be patient one another. And so that as we go through our work, we will be able to get the work done. We have a little work to do today, but I'm looking forward to us completing our task. Thank you. I would like, if you can, just take a minute to review the minutes. If there are any corrections. Exactly. Yep. Okay. Section 5,
Oh, section 5, Tanya is misspelled.
Okay, thank you, Tanya.
I did that on purpose just to make sure you read them.
And the spelling, Tanya?
The correct spelling is Tanya.
Yes.
Very
Y
good.
and A.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Well, I made a motion to approve the
Oh,
agenda.
just a minute, just a minute. You can do that. And now we have Deborah coming. Good. That's great. Hi. Did anyone see any corrections necessary? Okay. Now, if you'd like to make your motion,
I made a motion to approve the minutes of the September 18, 2025.
and is there a second? And who was the second? Dave? Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't call for the vote. You were just all in agreement. Okay. Please let us call for the vote. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. And now we're looking at the overview of the Charter Commission purpose and scope. We're looking at the, considering the strategic plan. I'm sorry.
Frankly, with me, I hear like really, like it's really low, like I can hear.
Okay, maybe I should maybe speak into the mic. No, it's okay. Okay. So we're at the overview and the Charter Review Commission, our purpose and scope. We're looking at the consideration of the strategic plan by Tanya Melendez. Tanya, it is your floor. Okay, then, sure, we surely can. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. And then B, we have comments by Sheila Perez regarding work done in a prior Charter Review Commission. Sheila, would you like to take the floor?
You can jump on to number 3 and then come back.
Okay.
I'll be ready now.
Okay, very good. All right. Now, we are at the issue that was raised by Adela Rodriguez regarding the impact of the commission, the Charter Review Commission, for both the primary and general election. So I yield the floor to you.
Quick question, was that addressed at last meeting or was that added afterwards directly to you? Because I don't
There-
remember it.
Okay, there was some changes, there was some input, so she wanted to share that again. Yes. Mhm.
In reference to the letter?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't able to complete that letter because I had spoken with Tanya
Okay.
to have her, her input.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
And I would like to get some time for next week so I can set
Good.
it up. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. No, you did. Yes, yes.
Adela,
I-
this topic that we're at now, 6C, is something that you raised last week about the commission's work impacting both the primary and the general elections.
Mhm.
That's, the letter that you're talking about is the next item 7 on the agenda. So I don't recall, you had an issue and that was why it was asked to be put on the agenda. That's why it's there.
Yeah, no, I just want that to be noted that we need to be a part of both. We need to be a part of the primary as well as the November. Due to the fact that it's a short period of time that has been presented to us to convene as the Review Charter Commission, I feel that we need to have the rights to be able to impact both the primary and the November election.
Forgive me, I keep forgetting to put my mic on.
Just so I understand the question, what I understand you to be saying is that if we recommend charter changes that have to go in front of the voters, we would like to make sure that there is time enough for the voters to understand what they are. So that means either, depending on when we do them, the primary election or the general election. Is that right?
Yeah, both included.
Any other comments? Did someone, I can't see you. Let me move over a little bit.
We keep hiding over here.
Okay.
I can scooch down, but I
Yeah.
don't have a comment.
Okay, all right. So that's what we have here, Ed. Okay. Okay, you ready, Tanya? You ready? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did everybody get at least one of the versions of the document that I sent out 2 weeks ago? Yeah, the changes are very minor. Literally, I added some things that we talked about just to keep it
Mhm.
updated.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First, as the Charter Review Commission, it's my city's home rule charter. And with that in mind, we have to ensure that it reflects the current governance needs and promotes transparency, equity, and efficiency, but that it also aligns with the city's long-term strategic goals. Taking that into consideration and what I do for a living, I wrote out a strategic plan that I would like to present. We can take it or not take it, but I feel that we need some kind of direction, order and direction. Just a goal to keep in mind that we can keep checking things off. So in the document that I created, I added things like what's our purpose, goals, a timeline, which is a suggested timeline. Nothing is written in stone. Just by going with when we started, and if we do one meeting a week and we skip Thanksgiving and we skip Christmas, the page of the meeting dates, I added it to the document. Again, so far it's just a suggested schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to write it down so I could keep it in my head.
Sure.
Along with that, I started to write some of the procedures that we adopted, like what is the commission's, the composition, the protocol, which is, so far we've only spoken about what quorum is, what majority is, how we're going to do decisions. And then I also added to this a section on public engagement, a section on reporting. So public engagement, we will conduct bilingual surveys. So the surveys will be in both languages. We will host at least 2 public forums. We will collaborate with community organizations for outreach. In reporting, we will have a goal that when we do our final report, we will have a summary of findings. We will propose amendments to the charter. We will have rationale for each amendment. We will also provide a public input summary, and if there are any legal review notes, we will include those in the final report. Okay? So I also created a review worksheet that nobody has to use if you don't want to. This is the way my brain works. It is literally like when you were a kid, when you're reading the first chapter, and there's plenty of spaces for you to write on there. It's a separate document, you can print it or not, but I've been using it. So basically the questions are, is this language outdated or unclear? Are there any conflicts with state or federal law that we might know of? Does this section align with the current city practices? Are there any opportunities for modernization, suggestions or amendments, or any summary notes that I might have? Now, each of us is to use this personally, not as a shared document, but each of us prints our own and each of us has our notes. This way will keep us going chapter by chapter and we'll remember what we thought in the one before.
Mhm.
Again, this is the way my brain works. This is why I wrote it all
Go
down.
through that again.
Yeah.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the worksheet, you can pass them down. It's divided by articles. So as you're going through, they're all the same. They just are divided by articles. It's the same document. It literally asks you in every time you go through a section of the charter to ask yourself the same questions. Is the language that is written on here outdated or is it confusing?
Mhm.
Is it matching Reading 2025 or the future of Reading 2030, Reading 2030, I mean, whatever. It's just ask yourself those questions as we're going through. Are there any opportunities that I think of as I'm reading this or I'm listening to this that we could improve upon? And do I have any suggestions for an amendment? Why this? Because as we're going through the entire document, we don't have to keep stopping the flow to interject our suggestions when we can take notes individually. And then when we're done reviewing the entire document, then we can go, okay, let's go back to one.
Yes.
Anybody have suggestions on that? And then we can do them one at a time,
Mhm.
okay? So this document is a separate document. We can have them printed now if you want to. If anybody wants to use it, we can get copies of it. Because this is how I work. So that way I can go back and I don't have to keep, interrupting so I can make a point.
You send it again electronically.
I will send it again electronically once I'm done talking.
Mhm.
So then the back of the document has a couple of other things. I put on here what the alignments are with the city goals. Because the city goals and their master plan from the downtown strategic master plan, I copied from there and I used that document to help us make sure we are being parallel with the city plan. In my mind, we need to rock the boat when we need to rock the boat, but there's no point in rocking the boat for no reason. So if we're working in the same direction as the city's master plan, we are within the master plan, and then we can suggest the changes that we think. But if we're working in the same direction, we should be good to go.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Tanya, can you identify, what are you saying is the master plan? Do you mean the equity plan of 2024 or 2028?
The one
Are
that's,
you talking
the
about?
latest one that's posted on the city website, it's called
Mhm.
Reading Downtown Strategic Master Plan.
Okay, now Reading Downtown is just that downtown,
I
okay?
understand, but
All
it
right, go
literally
ahead.
talks about transparency in government,
Sure.
inclusive civic engagement, equitable policy development,
Mhm,
and efficient administrative processes.
mhm,
Those are the items
okay.
that I want to make sure that we align with them.
Okay,
And
good, go
there are those, and they're listed on here, and there's a link as a
Mhm.
reference, anybody who
Yeah.
needs to read it.
Yeah,
Then I created my version of the budget, which of course, it is not my department. I just created my version of it, and
okay.
as a group, it has to be decided how it's going to be done. I stuck to the $5,000 limit, and I just divided into the categories that I saw in the expenditures from the previous one. So that can be discussed separately or together today, whatever, because it's still within the document, so we can use it. Deborah, do you have a copy of it? Of the, because the budget ultimately, okay, I'll resend you the document. All right,
I'm sorry, that was like.
yeah, for
That's
us.
the proposed budget for this group.
Yes, yeah, and we will get that.
No, that is the 15,000.
No, and yes.
She's allotting where that $15,000.
Again, it's my idea how it should be done. It's not.
Let her
I
continue.
just wanted to do a draft.
Yeah.
Instead of starting from scratch, we figure we start with a draft and then modify whatever needs to be modified.
And please.
Yeah,
if-
it's in there.
May I have the floor, please? If we write down your question so that when you're finished, then we can ask those questions, okay? So just please write down your questions so that we can move through that. Go ahead.
So the way that it's written as a strategic plan because we will challenge ourselves with the last part of this, which is a SWOT analysis, which Pastor Evelyn mentioned that she liked from the last time that she was in a commission. So I created one for us. I also created the key performance indicators. Basically, this tells us if we are on the right track to get it done within the timeline, if we're hitting these benchmarks. Again, I created them myself so we can modify them. They're not written in stone. They're just how I do other projects, what I thought would work. So it also has risk management section. It literally tells us like, what we should keep an eye out to make sure we're not letting go and we're not losing track of our time and we're not leaving anything by the side. And then a risk mitigation matrix, which sounds complicated, but it isn't. It is just, for example, let me just give you one example on here. One risk that we run is having political pressure placed on one or more of us, right? That risk, according to, it might be a high risk. The impact would be high, but the likelihood it would happen is medium to low. But if it did happen, it would have a high impact on what we're doing. So, and it would be the responsibility of the entire commission to keep an eye that that's all transparent at all times. This is just a strategic plan. Once you read it, once you understand basically that it's just a way of internally keeping our ship running and everybody's rowing in the same direction and everybody is doing the same things. So my notes have on here that I added, the agenda items following conclusion of a current meeting should be submitted to the commission chair for dissemination throughout the recording secretary, through this recording secretary. So I added, since last meeting, which the one I will send, when you asked that once the meeting had concluded and somebody needed something to add, they would go through you. That's been added into the communication strategies. The last section that is just paperwork for later. We can look at it later. It's not even, we can separate it too from the document. It is how to do the outreach when we get there eventually. So I made a copy of the survey in English and Spanish. Again, the survey is what my brain came up with. It is not written in stone. It's just a framework. But I just thought, this is the questions I would like to know when I'm talking about the charter. Like, what do you think about, how familiar are you with the charter? And then, have you ever participated in civic government meetings or initiatives? I want to know those things. And before I know what topics they would like to see affected. So I wrote those two out and they're in the document. And then I wrote out some targets for outreach, which are basically locations, venues, like organizations to engage, Centro Hispano, Berks Community Latino Chamber, Voice Up Berks, Safe Berks. I just started to brain download anything I could think of that we could use as an organization to help us disseminate the information. I even included some faith-based places, some neighborhood and civic associations. So the document itself, it's literally just a framework of how to go about the next 5.5 months. We don't have to adopt it today if everybody wants more time to read through it, of course, or we can adopt it as a framework, understanding that we will be editing or making changes or whatever works legal wise. Because it is a working document.
Yeah.
It is not, it's meant to be a living document. It's a strategic plan.
Excellent.
Does anybody have any questions now?
I noticed that you had a date of February 26, 2026 as the end date. Now, if we're gonna be impacting the primaries, right? Pastor Morrison?
Yeah.
The referendums must get to the Board of Elections by early February.
Mhm.
Do you remember the
In
date?
January, in January.
Was it January? I thought it was February. the
No,
deadline.
we need to address it in January. You know, if we're really gonna be, yeah, to be able to
Like,
be.
that cuts it close.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work, you know, but we can do it, you know, once we get through the agenda and we look at this information and that we can be able to make it happen. That's the most important thing, but everybody has to do their due diligence so that it gets done, not by one person, but by everyone responsibility to be a part of the group. It's real important, but go ahead.
No, that was the only thing, is that if we're gonna impact the primary elections, there is a deadline by which we must get that to the Board of Elections in order for it to be in the primary ballot. Otherwise, we lose the primary, and the only thing we have is the November election.
It has to be to the, it has to be to the Board of Elections by the 13th week before the election. The 13th week before the election. So that takes us into May and then into April and into March. And then it would look like February. Yeah, but we would have to, I would say, get that done by the last of January, the very beginning of January. So that would be our prime goal, you see. And remember, we're working on a timeline, so it's important. Sheila, were you finished? Did you
Yeah,
have
I was
something else?
just looking for the actual date. But I don't have.
13 weeks from the election, the primary election, 13 weeks.
So we'll find it.
So we can look at that. We have to make sure that we're in.
By February 17th, 2026.
So let's say, let's,
29th on our.
let,
If we give ourselves the January 29th as the deadline, it gives us 2 weeks to workshop anything. Oh, I should be using this. I should be using this. Oh, it's red. Everybody has their mics on. Open.
I'm sorry.
so I would like to see that we'd have it shored up by the end of the year, at least ready to go. Tweaking and everything, by the end of the year, and then we know we're well within our time. So that's for the primary election, and of course, the rest of our time, we can then focus on the general election. So we can have an opportunity, and that's why you were saying in terms of looking to inform city council that that was what you wanted to do. But now, Sheila, you wanted to say something else. That was it? Okay.
Yeah, if I can.
Dave, go ahead.
I think we got to think about this as guidance that will guide what we're
Yes.
going to do and how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it.
Yeah,
Not a legal requirement
yeah.
that we have to do it by those dates.
Yeah,
If
that's
we
right.
end up having to go past that, we have to go past that.
Good wisdom. Very good. I like what we have. Now, tell me about what you experienced in reviewing Tanya's listing.
Before
or
we do that, may
strategy.
I ask a question?
Go ahead, Dee.
Thank you. I have one question about where on the report you provided, Tanya, and great job on the report. Where can I find the budget item? I don't see it in the contents.
Because I don't think you have the
That's the
latest
one
one. I only sent it.
Got it.
Didn't get disseminated, but I will do it now.
Got it, got it. I also had.
But you
a
can have my
comment-
paper copy for now.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I also had a comment that I think that this, first of
Oh,
all,
good, okay.
lot of work. Thank you for putting your thoughts on paper, because if you had tried to say all of that here, I don't know
Still
if I
be
could have handled it, but, so great job for doing that. I do think that, my overall opinion on the effort here is that it's great, but I would love to see, our chairperson, really decide if this is appropriate for how
Mhm.
you want to manage the commission. I
Sure.
think that not only did you do a great job putting the outline together, I like that you put your ideas and your thoughts in it
Mhm.
as well, kind of give some idea and
Sure.
some feeling. And thank you very much, because anything I can get about the budget, especially past budgets, which I know is
Sure.
coming to me, is quite helpful.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like what Tanya was able to do, and she put herself on the line to submit this. But what I want us to do, and I mean, do your homework, to look at the whole package. Now, uh, uh, um, Doc, do you have an ability to make copies? Can we do that later on? Okay. How about give me the entire package, and then you will. Okay, so see, I need the most. Okay, so that's the current. Okay. I don't want to miss the moment that we can get on top of this, because I would like, and I'm kind of a socialist at heart, that everyone take Tanya's suggestions and her input. And I need you to go over it one by one. And then I need you to add anything that you're concerned with or needing to be a part of it, then add to it. It's a little homework, but I think you have the framework in which you're able to move through that, okay? And if you have anything else that you want to add to that, of course, please put that on there. So that's why I wanted a working copy, so it's not on the the email, simply because I don't like things on I'm still, yeah, I'm still,
But if I
just a
can,
minute, Dave, I'll be right with you. And so that's your assignment. That's one of your assignments, so that we can get on that and have the guideline, okay? So I like the contribution, and it was very well thought out. I appreciate that. You remind me of me back in the day, but that's neither here or there. But more importantly, now, Dave, you had a
yeah,
question.
no, it's not a question, it's just a comment. I
Comment?
think it would be
Okay.
helpful if we had it both in paper copy and
That's fine.
electronic. I feel more comfortable putting things into it electronically than I do in paper.
Oh, do you? Okay, then.
Yeah, so I think we're all going to be different that way.
Okay.
And
Does-
just the second reminder that this is a guidance document.
Sure.
It's not a statute. It's not an ordinance of the city.
I love
It's
it.
to guide what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Does anybody want to hand copy? So we have 1, 2, 3, we have 3, 4, we have 5, we have 6, we have 7. 8. Ed, you good? Okay. So let's make 10 if you don't mind. Okay. Now wait, Sheila, hold on a second. Let's resolve this. So, good.
Please?
Do you need it on the internet?
No, we got
You're
it.
gonna get it? Okay, good.
Can I-
Okay, so that's good?
Hold on.
Everything's-
Before she leaves,
Okay,
I'd like, if I can email you my questions so that everybody can also get a hard copy. And if they want to incorporate with her survey, any of the information, the questions that I have here, rather than have her make 2 trips,
okay, very good.
okay?
So how many pages is that?
This one is 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
2.5, really, or 2 1/4, but.
okay, good enough. So if you will indulge us, that would be wonderful. That's progress right there. Okay, any?
I
Okay,
got him on here.
Pardon?
Do you have her email address?
No, yeah, I am. I'm just putting it together and I'll attach it. Unless you want me to put it on your drive. Yes, I do.
Great.
Now I need a stapler.
Okay. Great. See you next month. She'll be back, but she's good. All right, now. So we did Tanya's and now Sheila.
Just give me 1 minute. Let me send her this.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, just a minute. Adele,
Yes.
did we resolve? Did we come to an agreement regarding the letter? I mean, the reason why the primary and the general election. So were you satisfied with that?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that, but I want to. I will have that letter complete this coming, next meeting.
Okay.
I've just been real busy.
We'll put that on the agenda and then that should be it, right? Pardon?
It's number 73.
No, we're not there yet.
Yes.
No, wait, where are we at?
We're on
Five,
C. We're
six.
speaking about C.
Si-
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
I
yes,
made a
number
mistake.
7 is the
Hold
letter.
on. Okay, very good. On 7. 7, okay.
so 7 is being tabled?
Yeah, we're gonna carry that over to next week. It'll be on the agenda. Okay, all right.
Do we need to take a motion for that? No?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
All right, now Sheila, going back to you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I entitled this Lessons from the 2013-2014 Charter Review Commission, Strengthening Ethics and Representation. The purpose of the Home Rule Charter Review Commission is responsible for evaluating the structure, the powers, and processes of Reading City government. Its recommendations can lead to amendments that shape governance for years to come. The composition of the 2013-2014 commission were members were appointed by either the mayor or city council. The commission included sitting elected officials, the mayor and council members as part of the commission, city employees and individuals with close professional ties to city administration, citizens with long-standing involvement in city governance. The key observations from the 2013-2014 appointments: several members held positions directly governed by the charter under review. Some appointees had close personal and professional relationships with city officials. The selection process did not include public applications, community nominations, or multilingual outreach. There was limited representations from renters, from the youth, from immigrants, and other marginalized communities. Why this matters. When individuals who are subject to the charter participate in its review, questions of impartiality and transparency may arise. A lack of diverse community representation can result in missed opportunities to address systemic barriers and lived experiences. The absence of public vetting and outreach may reduce trust in the process and its outcomes. What has changed? A new provision now prohibits elected officials and city employees from being appointed to the City Review Commission. This safeguard helps ensure that future reviews are conducted independently and free from direct conflicts of interest. Opportunities to move forward. To build on this progress, the city can consider establishing a public nomination and application process, requiring conflict of interest disclosures and residency verification, ensuring balanced representation across race, class, geography, and lived experiences, providing multilingual materials and outreach to engage all communities. Conclusion. The 2013-2014 Commission offers valuable lessons. By reflecting on its composition and process, we can strengthen future charter reviews to be more inclusive, ethical, and community-driven, ensuring that every resident of Reading has a voice in shaping our city's future. Now, with regards to the amendments that came out of that, the majority of those amendments benefited council members, the auditor, of that nature. Now, I just want to leave it out there. I will, if you'd like, I can send you copies of those amendments, but they should have never been put on the agenda, on the ballot for people to vote on, considering the fact that, and I'm going to give you an example, the CPA requirement for the auditor was removed. And in my opinion, there was malfeasance that took place during that time. So I just wanted to put that out there. We can continue to discuss it at a future date, but because due to those facts and due to facts that occurred during COVID, the city council, in my opinion, took it upon themselves to not include the constituency and take advantage of COVID to pass referendums at their leisure without the input of the constituency it serves.
Do you, oh, thank you, Sheila. Is that all?
That's all for now.
Okay, I would like for you to consult the 2023 charter, home rule charter, and go back to the second to the last page. These are the things that we will be coming to, but these are the charter amendments approved.
Which
by-
year did you ask us to pull up?
I said 2023.
That's the one that we have right now.
That's what we're working on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and if you go back to that second page, there are the charter amendments by referendum. I just would like for you to review them. I know it's a lot of work, but just review it. And then you'll go from 2002, and then it will go to 2023. Those are all the charter amendments by date. And you'll see 2002 stood alone. And then you'll see the number of those the ballot questions by the date. And then you want to look at them. And if you have any questions, we'll be dealing with that, okay? But Sheila, you're saying in the review, you would like to make sure that we do the review of the others.
I would like, first of all, I highly encourage you to be able to read a lot of these referendums that were placed on the ballot by city council with little to no outreach or education to the people. So when they went to vote, right now, for instance, the November 2023, amending the home rule charter by amending section 606 and eliminating the requirements for the city's public works director to be an engineer. Now, many people have no idea of the importance of those officials being an engineer. Rawa, the executive director, supposed to be an engineer. That was removed so that they can put someone in there who doesn't have a bachelor's degree.
Well, let's move.
And so that they can fit them in there without those requirements that are very important. Engineers in those positions are very important. And when I did surveys in other townships and municipalities, they're engineers.
Okay.
We are the only
Okay.
city that doesn't have that. So that's just one example.
Please make a note, study, make the reference if you need to, And then we'll get to that once we deal with the charter amendments. Because the important thing, if I have your attention,
Sorry.
if I can have your attention, there is a meeting that the election, give me the word, the Board of Election. And in that last meeting, they understood that when ballot questions come, there has to be information that is in the language of the ballot question. When we look at how they were listed, you will see that you only dealt with, in some of the questions, were just the article number and not a discussion or a information. And when we are getting ready to do ballot questions, we have to be able to make sure that the public, without a shadow of a doubt, know the language, and making sure the language is
Understandable.
mundane, yes, mundane for the general public, you see. So those are the things that we do, we have to be responsible for. But thank you, Sheila, for bringing that to our attention. And as we move forward, then we will be able to look at that in its,
That's why it's so important. Lastly, it's so important to make sure that everything is in English and in Spanish, especially when the largest voting base in the city of Reading is over 70% Afro-Latino Hispano. And it doesn't matter Spanish. In this case, it must be in the primary language with the highest population. And that's why it's Afro-Latino Hispano. It could have been German. Then it would have to be in German, English and German, if it was over 70%. So I just wanted to make that clear.
and we'll be coming back to that as well. Now, can we move on? Anyone a question or a comment? Okay. We were looking at the 7 to be for our next agenda. Okay. That's for the next agenda. And then now the hiring of a recording secretary translator. No, wait, forgive me. So 7 is on the next agenda. Time for a charter review. Now, wait, Sheila, just a minute. Number 8. Who proposed number 8? Okay, all right then. Propose attention for, oh, okay, that's the same thing then. Okay, all right. I'm just a little confused here. Okay, and then now 8 is on the next agenda. The hiring. Yes. Okay, are we there yet? Hiring interpreted services for the commission meeting.
I'm just curious, just a question, with the hiring interpreter and stuff. Isn't that supposed to be done in executive?
I like what we did, any type of hiring, it has to be in executive session.
Okay,
Yes, so you're absolutely right.
okay.
Mhm.
You mean in public news? And
No, if we're going to look at the, because remember in the last meeting, there was some sensitive things that went on. And I don't think that is necessary to be brought into the public. But of course, anytime we have a motion or voting on something, then surely we can. But when things come from, when we talk about hiring, I think that was one of the areas that you were concerned with as well, to be, Carlos, to be able to make sure that those sensitive subjects are dealt with in the executive meeting.
Okay. When did you bring that up? I'm sorry, I missed it. I must have been talking. When did you bring that up? When did you bring that up?
Oh, prior to the meeting.
In- Yes.
But
Yeah.
I'd like to jump
Yes,
in.
because in this way, you reduce the argument and debate with the member. I saw the meeting, the last meeting by Zoom, and I hear when different members say something, one of the public member put upset, you know, and this is the reason for, in every process or for hearing, is supposed to discuss, it's supposed not, it's his personal matter, and it's important to discuss is a second section.
And I just wanted to add for Tanya that I brought it up last week because when Raquel, what she was saying was so heartfelt. There were conversations we had that we have to have, that we do not need to have in front of the person or the people who may potentially be candidates.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. I love the discussion. I really love the discussion.
Any suggestion for the interpreter service for commission is that we ask for RFP from people or pricing information from people or companies that do this.
That's good. But it's also about, once we develop our connection with our budget, did we get a chance to have anything on that, Ed? In process, okay. All right.
I'm
So,
sorry, may I ask clarity when you say in process?
in process,
Does that mean
clarity.
that the budgets, actual budgets from previous commissions, that information is in process coming? Or is the approval in process for what we've asked for?
I sent an email to the finance director. I sent an email to the finance director and to the managing director requesting the appropriation of essentially $20,000, $15,000, and then the possibility of requesting an additional $5,000. Mr. Kelly, the finance director, responded, said it would take, council would have to approve that by ordinance. The ordinance process is at least a 2-week process because they've got to introduce the ordinance and then wait 14 days and then adopt it. So he said it could take up to a month. So that request was made the day after the meeting where that was decided upon. I don't know if it was last week's meeting or the week
Yeah, so that is.
prior. So it's probably about 10, 11, 12 days now.
And any information on the past commissions and their budgets, actual budgets since they're passed now, what they spent and what they spent it on?
The only information I have on that is what I circulated to the group by email, which was the list of expenditures.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, it was sent to everybody by my assistant.
Okay, I didn't get any emails from your assistant since last Thursday's meeting. So if it went out.
It
I
was-
didn't
that was
see it.
before.
It was done before that.
Okay,
Oh, before then?
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get it. John.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay.
I would very much need a copy as your
I
treasurer.
will. Mhm.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the 4th week meeting
Mhm.
and it's going into delaying to get those appropriations. Is there a way of either in black and white submitting a document in black and white, a letter or something that can speed up the process to that?
I made the motion for send the letter to the Mayor Moran and the City Council to asking about the status for the budget for this board.
There was a motion on the floor. There was a motion on the floor. Just a minute. There was a motion on the floor to send a letter to Eddie Moran, Mayor Moran, and the city council members, okay? And to do what?
I made a motion to on behalf of this board, send a letter to the Mayor Moran and the member of the city council for asking to the status or move forward the budget for this board.
Okay. Okay, even though it was to be ordinance, is that what you said, Ed? That it had to be through an
What-
ordinance?
That's what the finance director told me, correct?
So let's make sure of that, and we'll all be on the same page. And if it's the financial director's recommendation, but maybe the letter will be perhaps an encouraging. So,
So Mr. Rivera made that motion. Who seconded
he
it?
did, Sheila.
Sheila, okay, thank you.
And is there any other discussion?
Me too. I just want to know who's going to write it. Who's going to draft the letter?
I would like Ed to, because it's a you know,
Lucky
yeah.
you.
Ed, you don't mind, do you?
I don't mind,
You
no. No.
Yeah, but let us see it, let us see it, you know, of course, and draft, and then we can send it out. Okay, it's a simple letter, right? Okay. And go ahead, no, wait,
Yep.
Dave, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Could I suggest an amendment to that motion that we send a letter saying to the mayor and to the city council saying that we understand the budget request has been submitted to Mr. Kelly. We're asking for them to vote to approve it.
That's good. Okay, so you're just amending that we ask them to
Right.
approve it,
So we're asking them their
Okay.
support. for the-
to
not-
approve it. And maybe it won't be an ordinance. It may not be an ordinance, but let's see what happens. So to do that. All right, so do you accept the amendment for Dave? Okay, great. All right, let's
Nobody's supposed to make amendment when somebody present the motion, but it's fine to me to
It
add
was-
in the original motion. Yes,
Now, if it was already second, you can do that.
yes, she's
if it's
second,
already
Sheila. Yes.
Uh-huh, sure, you can make amendment
Yeah,
when
it's-
someone
it's-
seconds it, okay?
It's fine to me.
Yeah, okay then.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
So are we in agreement? I love this unity. Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. So much.
But
I'll draft it tomorrow. I'll draft the letter tomorrow morning and circulate it by email. I would suggest that if you do have any comments
I do.
to my,
You already.
You
know.
haven't-
Seen the letter.
Yeah, I do. I have.
you haven't even seen it yet.
Or, I'm sorry.
Proceed,
I
yes.
understand
Hmm.
that the letter is going to be written to the mayor and council.
Yeah.
But the mayor doesn't approve the appropriations. It's city council.
Mhm.
So in my opinion,
But I agree with you, but the thing is, the solicitor mentioned the manager director and director of financial is.
Works for
handling-
Demar
mayor.
Kelly.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Make
handling
works for
this
the
question.
mayor.
This is the reason for including the mayor Moran.
Mhm.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
All right. And then the last thing I wanted to say is this is exactly why this is taking so long, because they appointed the commission. So they had to have known that appropriations were going to be requested. And they were taking and dragging, this isn't the
Okay.
first time or the second time that council has dragged their feet
Mhm.
with this process. We should have appropriations no later than the third week of
Mhm.
meetings already appointed.
Okay, if all, I mean, if all was supposed to be, then it would have been well. But this is not the case. But I don't want us to be disappointed or dismayed about it. Let's move on so that we can make this thing happen, because no matter what, we're still going to be reviewing and making the recommendations and/or the ballot questions. So let us move on. Okay, so.
I didn't finish what I was going to say. I will circulate the letter by email tomorrow. I would ask that anybody that has any comments on the letter, get back to me, no later than, 3:30 in the afternoon, because if I don't hear, I'm going to send the letter.
Okay, good. 3:30? By 3:30. Thank you very much. Okay, very good. Okay, so how do you want to handle number 9? For the translator,
Oh, the translator,
or secretary?
is it recording? I
sec-
thought we spoke about the translator. We're going to submit or request, bids for translation services.
Yes,
Can we please make a separation between the word translator and interpreter? They're
Sorry,
two different
my
things.
bad.
it's
Okay.
true, it's important.
You're correct.
Okay. So we still are needing a recording secretary. No one has chosen to be a part of it or to be, so we're still without a secretary. Thank goodness that we do have the support. But now the translator, and you suggested that we have a bid, and the bid.
For the interpreter services.
For the translator interpreter.
No, no. Hiring interpreter service for commission members, for commission meetings. That would be the
Number 9.
I thought we were still on number 8.
No,
I
okay.
think we tabled
right.
all things that require a budget since we don't have approval.
Mhm.
We can't.
Let us do this, okay? For 8 and 9, let us put that on next week's
Agenda?
agenda.
So we're gonna table
Please.
this.
Then
Okay.
that gives Ed a chance, Attorney Stock, to respond, okay?
You still need to schedule an executive session for that.
And we do, we really do.
Okay.
So that's going to go in executive
Um,
and
I-
also into, because there are some people who did show an interest that are translators, they're certified translators, and they would like to come, I guess, at one of the meetings, and we would conduct it as just presenting who they are and what qualifications they have. Okay? Go ahead.
I want the suggestion, why don't we use the city's human resource office to help us with this matter? They have more expertise, they have more resources, maybe they use it for the city of Reading. Why don't involving the city human resource office?
I like the suggestion, and we can, but there's no other committee or commission that does that. But we can explore that, Carlos, if that's something that you would want to happen, we can explore that. And then I'll get back to you, all of you, for the next meeting, okay? So I'll explore that with the HR director,
I just
Okay.
think that, I'm sorry.
because we're not supported by HR.
That's
know.
right. But and then not only that, but we're already in week 5
Mm.
well, 4,
Yeah.
going into 5 next week.
Mhm.
We still don't have a recording secretary,
Mm.
and we don't have a trans person translating those
The meeting.
documents into Spanish.
Mm.
So it'll be more delay.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
just my opinion.
Okay, anyone else?
I don't think nobody wants to do the job without
Without.
a pay. The
Yeah,
translator.
that's.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the secretary role for this commission or the translation
For
role?
both.
For
No,
both.
secretary,
Because secretary is
Secretary,
volunteer,
translator,
just like
and
the rest of
interpreter.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The secretary for this commission isn't a paid
No,
role.
no, it's just number
No.
10.
Right,
is the
so,
recording
right,
secretary,
okay,
the other
so
one's
no
the
budget.
I
needed
have
for
too
this one.
many conversations going on. If we can stay focused on one conversation, go ahead.
I was trying to understand if we were talking about the secretary for this commission or the translating, and so we're on number 10,
Yeah,
not number 9 or 8.
I was confused myself.
Okay, so I was
I was
asking
con-
because I
yeah,
heard
I was-
conversations about the budget, but
Mhm.
for the secretary for this commission, there's no, it's not a paid role. It's a
Mhm.
volunteer role like all of the rest of us on the
Yeah.
commission, but it's someone who will take on the responsibility of
Mhm.
recording our minutes and
Mhm.
getting our paperwork out.
I was teasing with Tanya, because for all the work that she's done, that would have been our secretary, but
I
she
told you
said,
to
I'm
nominate
not.
Tanya. I
She
told you
said,
to
I'm
nominate her.
not, but that's okay. Because it's gonna be all right. It really will. Okay, so back to number 9, right? We said recording secretary, that's a volunteer, that's one of us. And the translating interpreter, that is what we're talking about in terms of a payment, a stipend, right? Are we all in agreement with that? Okay, so.
No. Number 9 is a person that we hire in executive session that's yet to be determined with the job description that was provided
Mhm,
and the budget that's non-existent yet.
right.
That's number 9.
Yes, uh-huh.
Now, number 10 is a member of this body that does not get paid, that needs to be elected. Now, the question is, do we need a secretary?
You say?
Do we need a secretary?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
The idea for number 9 was that we have somebody who would take minutes and translate them for the general public.
Oh, thank you.
So it's not a translation service that would function here. It's a person who would
Thank you.
take minutes and translate.
So you saw that as being combined?
Yes.
Okay.
The recording secretary.
Mhm.
So we still on number 9.
Mhm. So now we're at the issue of the recording secretary being also the translator as well as the interpreter. I mean, the translator. Okay. All right. Then we need to then deal with that in executive session. And then we also need to explore HR and in the matter of by Monday, by Monday. Okay, so we'll take care of that, hopefully, and Monday we will have something to go by, okay? Okay, so again, the election, number 10, election of the secretary.
I made the motion to appoint Adela Rodriguez.
Do I
I
have?
second.
Do I have a second? Oh, okay. All right, so I have a second. No, wait, we didn't have a vote yet. All right, okay. Now, Adela, do you accept that nomination?
I do.
All right, that's wonderful. Okay, so now let's get ready for the vote. It was D, Deborah. Mhm. And of course, you have all of our help.
That's out of the way now.
Okay. All right, very good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Carlos.
You're welcome.
So we have now a motion on the floor and it's been seconded. So all in favor, say aye. Any nays? None, okay. So the ayes have it, and Adele, you are our secretary. So
So we got that out the way.
a secretary, okay. All right,
That's
very
funny.
good. Okay. Okay, let us go to, we were under 7? Were we under 7? Not a lot.
11.
What did I say? 7. Oh, okay, I meant 11, okay. Yeah. Now, wait, article, finish reviewing, meeting schedule. Let's go ahead and do the meeting schedule. That's next week. But it's going to be at another location. And that looks like the Penn Room.
Next week's meeting will be in the Penn Room.
And they are equipped for everything.
And where is the Penn Room in
Right.
relation to this room?
On the 8th Street side. On the 8th Street side, you come up the steps. The Penn Room is right there, next to the dispatch, police dispatch.
Please show me before we leave tonight.
Good, okay. All right, good. So that's our next meeting and we're, yeah. Okay, then let us go to our review now and let us move expeditiously for.
Okay, so we are at Article 7 of the current charter. Section 701 is a statement of non-discrimination for the reasons listed and requires the city to adopt adequate and reasonable affirmative action policies in accordance with Pennsylvania law. Section 702 essentially separates the city personnel between the exempt and non-exempt service or career, they call it career or exempt service. And the exempt service, as you will see, are the elected officials, the managing director, the city solicitor, the heads of departments, offices or agencies immediately under the direction and supervision of the managing director, one clerk or secretary for each of the full-time city officials and heads of each department, the city clerk, members of authorities, boards and commissions, and temporary part-time or seasonal employees. Everyone else is a member of the career service. And then subsection C requires a merit personnel system, which is to make decisions based solely on merit and qualifications applicable to all employees. Any appointment, promotion, transfer, demotion, suspension, dismissal, or disciplinary action shall be carried out in accordance with the merit personnel system. Section 703 required the adoption of a personnel code for city employees that provides for the merit selection, well-defined job descriptions, fair and objective annual employee evaluations, equal access to employee training, promotion from within the career service, and ensuring payment on an equal worth basis. And then the personnel code is required to include the items listed in A through subsection L, which is, some of this is redundant, but classification of city positions, well-defined job descriptions, well-defined provisions for salary, fringe benefits, et cetera. Procedures concerning the substance, procedure, and enforcement of a merit personnel system, procedures for the recruitment, selection, training, and development of personnel based on merit and qualifications, procedures for advancement based on merit and qualifications, procedures regarding discipline and discharge, procedures for in-house training, procedures for those holding provisional appointments, procedures establishing grievance procedures, procedures governing relationships with employee organizations, and all other procedures necessary for the administration of personnel. So, and there is a very comprehensive personnel code as part of the Code of Ordinances. Section 704 states that no personnel policies or procedures will conflict with any law providing for collective bargaining and labor agreement administration. And nothing in the charter is to interfere with any lawful collective bargaining agreement entered into between the city and members of the bargaining unit. 705 sets forth provisions regarding compensation of department heads. The compensation shall be proposed by the mayor and approved by ordinance. Compensation of all other employees shall be set in accordance with the uniform pay plan established by council in the Personnel Code. And as Ms. Perez talked about earlier, there was a change made in 2020 that eliminated the residency requirement for managing director and department directors. 706, employees are prohibited from engaging in any form of political activity during regular work hours and are prohibited from using city facilities or property for any political activity. And that violation of that section could warrant discharge or other discipline. Section 707, we touched on this last week. The Administrative Services Department was split by a referendum vote in 2020, creating the Department of Administrative Services, or excuse me, separating the Department of Administrative Services into a Finance and Human Resources Department. And 707 establishes the Department of Human Resources with a director of HR appointed by the mayor. And the director is responsible for administering the personnel system on the merit principles described in the charter and is set forth in the Personnel Code. And the Director of Human Resources is to coordinate and oversee the hiring, training, assignment, et cetera, and discharge of all employees. Any questions about Article 7?
Any questions? Okay, very good.
Article 8 sets forth the position of city solicitor. This section 801A does contain some qualifications, which we've talked about that topic before. The solicitor shall be a member of the bar of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania and experienced in municipal law, will be head of the legal department, shall serve as chief legal advisor to the mayor, council, and city departments and agencies, and shall represent the city in all legal proceedings and perform such other duties prescribed by law, by the charter, by the administrative code, or by action of council.
That particular one, I thought that there was a vote that was ratified that allowed the mayor to pick his own solicitor and council to have their own, because otherwise it's a conflict of interest. What
Well,
I'm
there
seeing
is.
here,
We'll get to the section. Council was given the authority to hire.
But it's in another section.
It's in another section, right?
okay, but the solicitor that's hired by the mayor also gives council advice?
No,
'Cause
Well,
that's what it
it's,
says
no,
there.
the city solicitor is still the chief legal officer of the city. The solicitor for council only serves council.
mhm.
So I think you see that there's a bit of a conflict between
Right.
that, but I don't know that there really is. The problem that was addressed with the change that Ms. Perez is talking about is that it was difficult at times for the solicitor to serve two masters, i.e. council and the mayor, because sometimes they're in conflict with each other. But
The city-
while the city solicitor is still the chief legal advisor to the mayor and to council and to the city, the council has recourse now to go to its own attorney, which
It's,
essentially, for practical purposes, means that the city solicitor would not be serving in an area where there's a possible dispute between the council and the mayor. the city solicitor would not really be providing legal advice to council. That would be coming from their own solicitor.
Right, section 226
Okay.
establishes the city council solicitor and describes.
We'll,
what their
we'll
job
get to
is.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
801B provides that the mayor has the authority to engage temporary solicitors as need be for specific legal matters, and that such representation shall be secured by request for proposal.
Mhm.
Any questions about Article 8? Article 9 establishes financial procedures for the city. 901 establishes a calendar year fiscal year. 902 requires on or before 90 days prior to the ensuing fiscal year, the department heads will submit proposed budget and capital program to the managing director. Mayor will submit a balanced budget, capital program, and a message to city council. The proposed balanced budget and capital program shall be in a form as the mayor deems desirable. 903 references the budget message that would go along with the budget that the mayor submits to council. And the budget message is to outline expenditures and revenues in the proposed budget. I think emphasizing major changes from the current year and the prior year, outline any proposed programs, summarize the city's debt position, and any other material that would and will inform the council and the public of municipal goals. 904,
Before you go.
sure.
For our edification, I would like for some of us, if not all of us, to look at the budget this year and ask about the debt position. Debt position. And you could do that by either the financial officer or our auditor as well. And the reason why, later on, I will be able to share with you why we need to review that. Because this is the budgetary session. So this is very, very important that we begin to look at the budget of the city as well. Okay, thank you, Ed.
So section 904 provides specifications regarding the budget and the format and what the budget is to contain. So subsection A requires a general summary of the contents. B is a show in detail all estimated income. C, show all proposed expenditures, including debt service. D, shall detail the number, salary, and benefits of proposed employees in every job classification. E, it shall be arranged to show comparative figures for actual and estimated income for the current year and actual income and expenditures of the preceding 4 fiscal years. F, indicate the proposed expenditures during the ensuing fiscal year. And G requires information regarding capital expenditures. And H shall indicate the anticipated net surplus or deficit for the ensuing fiscal year. And then the last line says the total of proposed expenditures shall not exceed the total of estimated income. So it requires a balanced budget. 905 establishes what council has to follow in terms of enactment of the budget. Has to advertise a summary of the budget. Has to have a public hearing on the budget. The budget is to be available for public inspection. The 905C requires the budget to be adopted no later than December 15 of the current fiscal year ending. If council fails to adopt the budget by December 15, then the mayor's original proposed balanced budget shall become the official budget for the ensuing fiscal year. And then 906 deals with if there's a municipal election, which, you know, you think of it, it might, you know, a municipal election may result in a change in the composition of city council or in the position of mayor. So this allows within 45 days after the start of the fiscal year following the municipal election, the budget can be reopened and a revised budget adopted. You know, the idea being that a new city council and a new administration doesn't necessarily want to be saddled with a budget adopted by the outgoing administration.
Mhm. And it's really important to survey this particular time when the budget has to be reopened. It's really, really important. Go ahead. Thank you.
908 provides that emergency appropriations can be made if there's a public emergency. 908B provides for supplemental appropriations by ordinance if there's excess revenues available. And 908C pertains to transfer appropriations in accordance with Section 215, which would be the ordinance section of the charter. 909, if you don't spend it, the expenditure in the budget lapses. The mayor is responsible with the assistance of the managing director for the administration of the annual and capital budgets. 911 is the requirement for a capital budget. 911B sort of mirrors the other normal budget provision, but requires cost estimates and how capital items are going to be financed. 911C requires bonds required for financing capital projects are to be secured by competitive bidding. The remainder of that section just details the procedure for essentially getting capital projects approved and financed. 912 is the procedure the council has to follow to adopt the capital budget, which again requires public advertisement, a public hearing. The proposed capital program is available for public inspection, and the capital budget has to be adopted no later than December 15. 913 makes copies of the budget, capital program, appropriation, revenue ordinance available. They're public records, and they shall be made available to the public at suitable places in the city. 914 requires an independent audit to be completed and submitted to the mayor within 180 days of the close of the fiscal year. It's to be done by a certified public accountant or certified public accounting firm, experience in municipal finance, having no personal interest, direct or indirect, in the financial affairs of the city. Within 30 days of the audit being completed, the mayor presents the audit to council. There's a requirement for a management letter, which in auditing world is recommendations made by the auditor as to how processes can be improved. Summary of the audit is to be published at least once in a newspaper of general circulation. Council is to designate the accountant to do the independent audit for a period not exceeding 3 years. 915 is a section that pertains to some bidding.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Going back to 914, I know your timing may not be appropriate, Dee, but as the treasurer, I would like for you to look into the audit for the last 3 years. And the reason why, or the statement, the recommendations, just to review those things. I think you'll be able to see some things that will bring to our attention. So I know that, you know, if you need any help and anybody wants to help you, we surely will. Because what happens is the audit, I think if we look at the auditor, we've had, I think the same audit for a long time. Maybe 35 years, 40 years, I don't know. But we need to look into that because I think there needs to be some term limits when it comes to who is doing our auditing and who is doing our financial projections, as well as the recommendations. That's something that it was triggered in you know, some reviews of the audit, you know. And I think that, you know, after a while, you might need to have a new perspective, you know, but that's neither here or there. Thank you, Ed.
I want to make a statement. That's supposed to be done by Herbin, correct?
Herbine, that's, yeah. Mhm. I didn't want to say any names because, you know, it's not necessary, but that just to look. No, it's not a problem. It's public information.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you, thank you. Mhm.
915, A and B are requirements for public procurement where contracts for construction or purchase of materials exceeding $10,000 have to be secured after, you know, advertisement soliciting bids for the work and you know, it's designed to be an open and competitive procurement process. B1 basically says you can't avoid the bidding requirements by trying to break a contract up into itty bitty parts to get below the threshold requiring public advertisement and bidding. Contracts in excess of $4,000, you don't have to go through the bidding process because that can be cumbersome and expensive, but you do have to get telephonic price quotations from at least 3 qualified contractors. Subsection C requires, as a condition of any award of contract, that bonds be submitted by the contractor. That's to essentially protect the city should the contractor default. D is a provision that allows a contract to be awarded not to the lowest bidder, but to a bidder who is within the city as long as that bid's within 10% of the low bid.
Mhm.
And E is that contracts are on file in the office of the auditor and available for public inspection.
Here that speaks to, I believe it was in 2014, where it was placed on the ballot that any contracts over $10 million have to go up to the voters for a vote. And that started with the water, if I'm not mistaken, because I worked on that citizens initiative. So you don't see it on there, right?
I don't see it in there.
That's interesting,
Okay.
because it should
Keep
be
a note
in
of
there.
that, Sheila.
Huh?
I said, just keep a note of.
I am. I have
Mhm.
it here. Where's the $10 million? Because that was the
Alright.
time when they wanted to sell our water. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
And
That's,
anything, that initiative was anything, any contract that's over $10 million has to go to the citizens vote.
Okay, let's make sure that we have that in writing and perhaps we can find that ordinance. Or if it's going to be a valid question.
It was a ballot question.
So,
It was a
okay.
citizens initiative
Okay, I'm not familiar with it, but let's check it out. Okay,
under Vaughn.
all right, go ahead.
Okay.
Any questions about Article 9? So Article 10 deals with boards and commissions.
No questions? Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Boards and commissions may be established by ordinance. Council may not change the powers or authority of any board or commission except by ordinance. Council may by ordinance abolish any board or commission not established by state or federal mandate or by this charter. 1002, membership. Council approves all appointments for each board and commission. Broad citizen participation is to be encouraged in recruiting and appointees and making appointments. No appointee of any board or commission shall hold any other elected public office or any compensated position in the city.
Can I refer to this? When we're on the review commission, it is considered a temporary board. So that's the only exception to be on another board. Does that make sense? Because it's a temporary board only for 6 months. So you can then apply or be on another board under those circumstances, okay?
Subsection B just talks about,
And then the other thing though, too, go ahead,
Yeah, based on the statement that you made, that you could be on another board,
mhm,
I have a question.
mhm.
Do you have to be selected for that other board, or
Boards are by application and you get interviewed by city council members.
so you would have had to submit an application?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And you get that through either the internet or with the city clerk's office.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm. Okay, sorry, Ed.
subsection B is provision about filling vacancies, and C is the qualifications. As a general rule, member of boards and commissions shall be residents of the city. At the discretion of council, persons not residents of the city but who have a significant property or business interest in the city may be selected to serve.
Mhm,
No person may concurrently serve on more than one authority, board, or commission. I think
mhm.
that's what Pastor Morrison was referencing. This is a temporary appointment.
Mhm.
I will say, just as an editorial aside, the issue of boards can be somewhat complicated because, for example, the parking authority is created under the Parking Authorities Law, which is a state law.
Mhm.
And that law gives the mayor the power to appoint and to remove board members essentially at will. State law generally overrides local law. So oftentimes, boards which are created by a state law have provisions regarding appointment, removal, that could potentially conflict with the provisions of the charter. I mean, it's a whole, that's probably an hour discussion, and I don't want to bog us down with that, but I would just bring it up, sort of tuck it in the back of your mind that the charter has some limited power, or its powers are limited when it comes to certain boards, just because of the fact that the boards exist under state law.
Thank you.
General Assembly.
That's
That's what he
yeah.
means. So when you see General Assembly, that's a state law.
Mhm.
Okay?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was just,
Any questions about Article 10? Article 11 is the section of the charter regarding citizens' rights and participation.
Now, excuse me, this is really, really important because as you know, We are of the people, for the people, and by the people in terms of our government, whether it's a state level, a federal level, or the local level. This is very, very important because participation, it has to be understood. So I just wanted us to make sure that we have the notation here and, you know, get ready to really test this. Okay, go ahead. Thanks, Ed.
So section 1101, subsections A through D are statements of goals. Subsection E is probably the most important subsection because it protects the rights of citizens of initiative referendum. It does say recall, but the provisions on recall of officials was rescinded.
Rescinded, yeah.
Yeah, and recall is a process to remove a elected official who's been elected already. So 1102 is the initiative provision. So this section gives the voters, assuming you can follow the procedures set forth in 1102, certain powers to propose ordinances to city council. So, you know, if you have a city council that's refusing to even introduce an ordinance, the voters have a way of getting, you know, that ordinance before city council, even if city council is essentially opposing that ordinance being heard. Now, there are exclusions. Subsection 1102B is a listing of proposed ordinances which cannot be submitted by petition to council. For example, if you look at B1 subsection 4, this voters can't propose a ordinance that provides for tax levies or fees. The next one that provides for other appropriations. Subsection 6, it provides for the exercise of the right of eminent domain. And there's a listing there. So it's, you know, there are types of ordinances that are not subject to the initiative process. But you'll notice make sure I get the sections right. Subsection C, no, I'm sorry,
No.
subsection B2, you can propose ordinances to repeal. No, I'm sorry. You can't propose ordinances to repeal, amend, or modify an ordinance which took effect after having been subject to the referendum provisions of this charter, which we'll talk about next. And you can't propose ordinances to amend the city's home rule charter. We'll talk about amending the charter hopefully in a few minutes tonight.
Oh, that'd be really good because in the last 5, 6, 7 years, when we look at the home rule charter, the concessions that have been made by the public needs to be reviewed. Simply because when we look at the nature of them, they are directed to who created the valid questions and how they were implemented. So that's part of the review as well, because there's a lot of things that have gone under detection of the public, and the public voted on it because they did not have they had article numbers instead of definitions and procedures or the meanings of what they would vote for. So those are the things that I really am conscious of moving forward, simply because those are the things that erode our government as for the people, by the people, of the people. Thank you.
One thing, when it comes to initiatives that are voted on by the public for the amendment of the charter, right? So term limits comes to play, right? When they come to amend the charter to include those ratified changes, I'm noticing that they're not putting the way the old amendment read. So,
In order to compare.
so that you could compare.
Mhm.
So if, for instance, the mayor only had 2 term limits, he was the only one that had 2 term limits. That's why term limits was so important for everybody else. And when the changes were made, none of that was explained. I just put it there. So it looks like, something that there's no way of going back
Justification.
and justifying what it was prior to the ratified amendment. And that should be included. Prior to that, only the mayor had 2 terms. And that's not only for the term limits. I'm noticing that for a lot of the referendums.
Thank you.
We only have about 10 minutes, but I
Okay.
think I can get through the rest of the charter tonight if we just,
Do you want to?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So subsection C of this section is the procedure to get
And notice.
the petition before city council to adopt an ordinance. The important section is subsection G. So if you satisfy and they're very, the petition to put an ordinance before city council can fail if you don't follow very closely the requirements of the charter in terms of like the number of signatures and the whole procedure that's set forth there. But if you're able to do that, so subsection G says if the petition is signed as required by section 1102E, council shall do one of the following. Number 1, enact the ordinance without alteration within 20 days. 2, call for a referendum to be held at the time of the next general, municipal, or primary election, at which election the proposed ordinance must be submitted without alteration to the electors of the city for a vote. And the rest of the section then just details how the ordinance that's put on here by the voter initiative, how it gets approved. And then 1103 is sort of in a way, the reverse. It's reconsidering ordinances that have been adopted by council, how you can go about having the voters repeal such an ordinance.
Mhm.
And again, I mean, we could spend an hour just talking about the procedure for both of these. I think in the past, there have been some efforts to do this that have not gone well because of the failure to follow all the requirements and get all the required signatures, et cetera, et cetera. So that's initiative and referendum. 1111.
I have one question quick. It might seem silly, but is there a way to add later on when we're doing this to one of these sections, something to the effect of administration will create a how-to document?
It's in your purview to recommend any amendment to the home rule charter, which would include that topic.
Okay, so I make myself understood. So if we agree that to explain to the citizens how to bring something forward to council, a section 1102, and we add to it that the administration must create a how-to document that explains clearly in common language how to do it, we could add that.
You can, if you get a majority of this charter review commission to support that type of amendment, you can do that. Absolutely. Section 1111 is the citizen's right to place an item on the city council agenda. 1112 is the citizen's right to call a special meeting of city council. 1113, that's your $10 million, Sheila.
Where? Oh, there it goes. There.
Whenever there is a proposal to sell, lease, or enter into a concession agreement for a period longer than 10 years, other than to or with a municipal authority created by the city with respect to any city asset or combination of assets with a market value that is or may be in excess of $10 million, council shall submit the proposal to citizen initiative at the next election legally possible. Any questions about, I know we did that sort of quickly. It is important, Article 11.
I don't have a question, but I have a statement to make at the beginning of Article 11, General Provisions, subsection E. The recall of elected officials is actually against the Constitution of the state of Pennsylvania, so I think that's why it's
And then
coming
this
off
one.
here. I'm assuming you said that is automatically already coming off?
It's
not something
no
we-
longer part of the charter.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's here, but it should.
I don't recall the history of how it
And it
got to be,
shouldn't
but
be.
it's not a part of the charter.
So we shouldn't be concerned with getting that off of there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Article 12,
No, wait, I just wanted to state your point, and it doesn't show where it was rescinded.
yeah, it
My
does.
point,
It's,
Where do you see?
It says recall of elected officials was approved by referendum at the November
yeah,
2020.
it's in the,
The editor's note,
Oh,
11A.
okay,
Yeah,
thank you
it's-
very much, okay.
But the whole reserve, like, we don't know what that's
Okay.
referring to. It just says reserved. So we have no idea what the reserved is.
no, it's referenced in the, here, I'll find it. Those sections were all taken out by yeah, look at November 2022, the Home Rule Charter was amended. Sections 1102 and 1103 were amended, and repeal and reserve sections 1104 through 1109. So that's why they show up
Okay, good.
in the charter as being reserved, because those sections were repealed in November of 2022.
These were repealed in November of 2022.
Yeah.
Okay. Cross-reference.
Um,
Go ahead.
Any questions about Article 11? Article 12, 1201A is a recitation of certain conflicts of interest that are prohibited. You know, some of these are sort of common sense. Use of public office for private gain is prohibited. 1201B required city council adopt a code of ethics. So there is a code of ethics as part of the code of ordinances of the city. And then 1201C establishes the Board of Ethics, which is an independent board consisting of 5 city residents whose job is to enforce the provisions of 1201A and the provisions of the Code of Ethics.
Does anyone like to have a code of ethics? To make sure we can have them at the next meeting, so,
Yes.
so you can have them,
Yes,
Okay.
please.
everyone? Okay, very good.
1202 are certain prohibitions that can be enforced by the Board of Ethics. You know, making false statements in regard to any test, certification, or appointment under the provisions of the charter. So, I mean, if you know, falsify a qualification, 1202A2 is you can't give money, basically bribe someone for appointment or promotion. 1202A3 is no city elected official shall knowingly or willfully solicit any assessment, subscription, or contribution for any political party from any city employee. And B is the penalties. 1203 is us. It's the,
No, wait, go back to review 1203. 1203, is that in the general prohibitions, is that for employees and elected officials?
1202A3 is written, it only applies to elected city
Elected.
officials.
Okay.
Basically, it's the Tammany Hall provision, you know,
Mhm.
the elected officials can't require city employees to, you know, give part of their pay in order to maintain their city job.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay.
1203 is us. It's the review of the charter provision. This is the only section of the charter that directly pertains to the
Okay.
duties of this commission.
Mhm.
And then 1204 is how you amend the charter.
No, wait, before you go 1204, let's review.
Well, we did 1203 at our first meeting. That's why we're
I
on
want us to do it again. 'Cause
Okay.
as we're growing and we're moving along, go ahead.
All right, so 1203 requires a charter review commission at least every 5 years, composed of 11 members. No elected city official or employee is to serve on the charter review commission. 7 members are appointed by city council, 4 members appointed by the mayor. All appointees are to be current residents and registered voters.
Ed, stop here. I said I was going to do this, but I wanted all of us to just tell me who appointed you. So let's start with Tanya.
I just want to know why.
Oh, because it's good for the public. Who appointed you? Almost, we're ready. Okay, go ahead, Tanya.
City Councilor Vanessa.
Melissa, excellent.
Vanessa.
Oh,
Vanessa.
Vanessa. Okay, very good. Go ahead, Dave. You don't know by the council person? Okay,
City Mayor.
city mayor, okay. Wesley Butler. The mayor,
Rafael Nunez.
uh-huh.
Mayor.
City mayor.
The city manager. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Go ahead. It's good for.
The Charter Review Commission shall review the current charter, submit a report to council and the mayor and the citizens within 6 months of the appointment, and recommend any proposed amendments to the charter. City council and the mayor by ordinance shall place all proposed amendments on the ballot no later than the next municipal election. City council shall provide appropriations for the reasonable expenses incurred by the Charter Review Commission.
Can we stop there?
1204 is how the charter is amended. 1204A is through the process defined in the home rule and optional plan law. That was the law that allowed the charter to be created in the first place. City council through the enactment of an ordinance to refer the referenda to the Berks County Board of Elections. And then lastly, C which is us again, proposed amendments by a charter review commission being placed on the ballot in accordance with section 1203 of this charter. So the only way you can amend the charter is through action of the voters.
Excellent.
And one of the 3 methods that are set forth there.
I have to
But that hasn't been
interrupt
happening.
because we have our secretary leaving today at 7:30. She must go.
Yes.
And so what I would like to do, if there's any public comments or
Time to
we
vote.
can
Okay.
save this, I hope.
Yeah, we're all, I mean,
We're
the
almost
rest of
done.
the rest of it is,
The transition.
yeah, it's not as important. We've
Okay.
covered all the important stuff.
Any public comment? Go right ahead. And make sure you sign the paper.
No, he's
Yeah.
he's with me. He's my security guard.
Briefly, third-class city, well, greetings.
Thank
And
you.
Sir, can I ask
Salutations.
your name, please?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. My name is Francis Edward Morrison. I am a lifelong resident of Reading, Pennsylvania. I was born at the Community General Hospital, so community is synonymous to my existence. What we have in common unites us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's examine this. This is a third-class city. And in the Commonwealth, this particular charter board is uniquely different than any other form of government within the Commonwealth. So now, let's look at the ordinance that puts this particular commission into the budget. Unless that ordinance was dissolved, there is still monies available under that ordinance. So what this body needs to know, if in fact that ordinance was dissolved, or as they call the dissolution.
Thank you.
My second point of interest is that this amended Charter Board ordinance of November 2023 should be published on the internet in English and Spanish so that the citizens of Reading, Pennsylvania have access to this information. You see, we talked about earlier, I heard an explanation, and we're talking about the citizen's right to be heard. You get 3 minutes, but there's no rubric or there's no note to denote that there's a time limit. They just say, well, you got 3 minutes if it's not related. Well, show me where that deviates from this particular document. Because in this document, there are no limits to the time a person can have to speak. Now, keep in mind, we have to respect the time, individual's time. So if it's not related to the agenda, I can say 3 minutes or 4 minutes or whatever, but don't restrict. You see, when you put the restriction on the city council meeting, and we're only going to give you 3 minutes, you're restricting them the right to be heard thoroughly or effectively. Now, when you control the agenda item, you can control what people can talk about and for the length of time they can spend on that particular issue. Now, bear in mind, public cannot speak at the committee of the whole. So for an example, I had it on the agenda and we got to speak, so I got 5 minutes. So the individual that we were talking about, a particular organization, they were given 5 minutes, but then they were also allowed to go to the committee of the whole. And they were given 20 minutes to offer a presentation that was less than accurate and less than honest. But nonetheless, they was given that opportunity while the city residents had no opportunity. So you see, you're giving preferential treatment to organizations over city residents. So my advice is for the city residents to start organizing and developing not-for-profit organizations so that they can be included in the pie too. Because the pie is being distributed to privatized organizations, and for the most part, they do not live in the city. So when you talk about rewording what goes on the ballot, believe me, they have consultants that tell them how to word it in order to get the results that they want. They want individuals to manage the government, but we don't want you living in the city if you don't want to live in the city. Oh, I'll come and get the job, but I can't move into the city. Well, you understand that. But that particular part of the charter has been rescinded in order to accommodate what?
Yeah, Sheila.
So when you look at the bulk of the nonprofit organizations, where do they exist? They exist outside the city, in which city residents will never get to be a majority on those board of directors of those not-for-profits. I yield the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Morrison. Okay, so I just need a motion to, oh, we don't have to have a motion to adjourn, do we? Oh.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Very good. Okay, get your homework done, get your homework done.